Yo, Still Mills, what's the deal, man? I'm back, man. Listen, dog. They didn't cancel school up here from Monday. My kids was out of school on Monday. They probably gonna be out till Thursday. It's been like they canceled the trash, just the trash companies are shut down because it's so fucking cold up here, man. Just I don't. This shit came out of nowhere. It's brutal up here, man, and we niggas just. Niggas is just trying to stay warm, man. So pray for the brethren up here in Omaha, Nebraska, man. So for Peep Game, man. I listened to Bud's Cigar Talk interview with Naji. Shout out to Naji, and he said something that I was. It's kind of bothering me, man. It's kind of bothering me because I don't like. All right, so the main thing that's bothering me is he's looking for a reason to justify not going undisputed at 154 pounds and just jumping up to 168 to get that drama in with Canelo. Which if I'm being real, man, the champ deserves it. If I'm speaking from as a Canelo fan and a detractor of Canelo, which I'm not, I would prefer him to fight the other fighters in the division because it's Bud isn't he's not a combatant at 168 pounds. So I'd prefer him to fight the other fighters in the division, but understanding, from a business aspect and, me being a Nebraskan, I'm supportive of the champ getting a shot at Canelo. I'm supportive of the champ getting a shot at Canelo, man. I've listened to a few people, they have their reserves about this fight or whatever, man. I listened to BFTB and, his take on it and everything. And, a lot of people are real aggravated that Bud is getting the fight simply because he beat Spence. A lot of these niggas is, Spence fans. And, when it was Spence, who was allegedly in line to get that Canelo fight, it was no harm, no foul. But when Bud went in there and crashed that nigga, now they have every reason as to what they want to show. Like, all right, I'm gonna be supportive of it, but I'm still salty that it ain't Spence getting this fight instead of Canelo. Not instead of Canelo, but I'm still salty and sore that it ain't Spence getting this fight, but it's Bud getting this fight. So I've definitely picked up on that. I noticed that, and people had yo man, you ain't getting no fair fight with when Canelo fought Floyd. Canelo lost 12 rounds out of 12, and he still managed to get a draw with a one judge, which that's definitely a point, you dig, and I that's definitely a valid reason. But they were also saying shit like it's not for undisputed, and you're gonna go up there and fight like you're right there on the precipice of going undisputed 3 times in a row. Why not just do that when this ain't gonna be no fight for undisputed? When now we know that Canelo he's fighting William Skull for undisputed, double undisputed. So it's gonna be an undisputed title match. So it makes sense for the champ because it's like, all right, cool. If I'm gonna go triple undisputed, why not go triple undisputed with a legitimate all-time great, 2 divisions, technically 3 divisions north of where I campaign at. So it makes sense for him to think like that. I get it. I definitely get it. But I don't like the fact that he said, well, there's great fighters down there, but what legacy fighters down there? It's not about it. It's not about being a legacy fight. I think Spence was his legacy fight, and I don't even. I just think with Spence, it was just so much drama, drama surrounding that fight. We talked about it for 5 years, and we finally got it, and it just did not pan out to what it is that everybody thought it was. I didn't think he'd get stopped, but I was like, this ain't no 50-50 fight. After the Sean Porter fight, I'm like, Bud is going to destroy this dude. But that was his legacy fight. That was his legacy fight. So Canelo is a legacy. Canelo would be definitely a legacy fight if he wins that fight. But with me, I'm like, I prefer him to go because I think he'd have a better time going triple undisputed at 154 pounds than 168 pounds. I honestly believe that, man. And no, there isn't a quote unquote legacy fight for Bud at 154 pounds. But the act of going triple undisputed is a legacy act in itself. And those are damn good fights that he could, that would be that he'd be in if he fought at 154 pounds and chose to go triple undisputed in that division. You dig? Now, granted, you're not gonna get the bag that you could get fighting Canelo, and it's one fight, so you ain't got to go through Bakram and you ain't got to go through Sebastian Fundora. Those are tough fights, especially Bakram. I think Bakram is a lot more dangerous than Sebastian Fundora for champ. Actually, I don't think I know that Bakram is a lot more dangerous for Bud than Sebastian Fundora. I know that for a fact. I know that for a fact. What we saw against Tim Tszyu was some like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? That was scary. That was scary. And the only one who's really in the rush to fight him is Sergey Bohachuk. That's the only one that's looking, that's really calling his name. Ain't nobody else really calling for that dude like that. Ain't nobody else really calling for him like that. So yeah, I think that right there would be a much more dangerous fight for Bud. That would be the fight that it's like, yo, this is gonna be a tough one. But I didn't like that how he said it's not no legacy fights. He's not entirely wrong. It's not the fights that's gonna be legacy defining. It's the act that will be legacy defining. 3-time undisputed. You could do it in 2 fights. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. But I understood what he was saying, and I'm supporting the champ. I'm supporting the champ. You dig? I have my reserves about how I think the fight will go. I don't like the fight. I don't like the matchup, but I'm supporting the champ. I'm definitely supporting the champ when it comes, in this fight in September. I just didn't agree with what he said about it's not no legacy fights for him down there, man. It's not no legacy fights for him down there. They're legacy acts. You know what I'm saying? I think that would have been an incredible legacy. Yo, man, we're undisputed at 40, 47, now 54. That's a dope thing. And it's shit. If he does it at 68, it's even more spectacular because he's jumping up multiple divisions to do it. I just think he had had an easier time doing it at 154 pounds. And even that still would have been tough. Those would have been tough outings. Bakram would have been a real tough outing for him. That right there, woo, that's a bang fest. That's a bang fest. You dig me? So yeah, man, I'm not a fan of it's not I'm not a fan of the Canelo fight, but I'm rooting for the champ. I'm definitely rooting for the champ, but I'm not gonna lie. I didn't like that. I didn't like that because I'm like, it doesn't, just I get what you're trying to say, but it just it's and it make it, even when you fully unpack it, it makes sense because it's like, why go for it? Why go, do this triple undisputed thing in 2 or 3 fights when I could do it in 1 fight and make a much bigger payday? So it makes sense. It definitely does. It definitely does, man. But it's a lot of people, a lot of detractors. You dig? Now I'm here. Oh man, Canelo. Oh, he's fighting his welterweights. He fighting welterweights. He fighting welterweights. He fighting welterweights now. And it's like, all right, bro. Whatever the fuck ever. Come on, y'all. Champ earned that fight. We ain't tripping. But just it's a lot of people who are denigrating the fight. I would like to see the champ go for undisputed at 154 pounds, man. But it ain't. It's just not gonna happen like that, man. So I mean, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But I don't agree with what he said because I just think that the act of going triple undisputed far usurps that of you're not going. Ain't no spin. Ain't no ain't no fight up there equal to a Spence fight. The gravitational pull that you and Spence had. There's no fight at 154 pounds that's gonna bring that type of attention. But every champion at 154 pounds is better than Earl Spence. I don't. I wouldn't pick Earl to be Zoo when he had it. I don't pick him to be Bakram. I wouldn't pick him to be Madrimov. I wouldn't pick him to beat Fundora. I wouldn't. I dead ass would not. I real life would not pick him to beat Fundora. So there's the fights there are more challenging and tasking than they self. So I didn't agree with that, and that's the only thing that I didn't agree with. But I understand it because Everything that he could do in that fight, if Canelo beats William Skull, everything that I could, chop down the workload, double, by 2 times. Why fight for status and take, 2 or 3 fights to get there when I can do it in one? It makes sense. It honestly does. And with him being in the position that he's in, he's earned that, man. You got to give, kudos to Bill Haney for putting that bug in his ear. Go for that Canelo fight. Go for that Canelo fight. Go for that Canelo fight. So shout out to Bill Haney for doing that. Shout out to Bill Haney for doing that. But that's all I pretty much got to say about it, man. I didn't like how he said that, because I definitely think that not Canelo, but Murtazali, yeah, Bakram Murtazaliev and Sebastian Fundora, those are very much so credible foes for him at 154 pounds. And so it's not the legacy fight. It's the act. It's definitely the act. But nonetheless, I'm supporting the champ. You dig? I'm supporting the champ. I don't like that he, just that he's chilling for the whole year, and you know, I'm not a fan of that. I definitely do think he should get active. He's spending a whole year building up his body, building up muscle. I dig that. I dig that. It's understandable. I didn't like the him come, just people don't know how, just people get, they become fanboys so much that they just, every little thing they'll take it and run it and blow it out of proportion. They all you a wrestler, and it's like, man, listen, dog. Bud is not about to go in here and out muscle and knock out Canelo. It's not gonna happen. If he wins this fight, it's definitely gonna be on points. And there ain't a goddamn thing wrong with saying that. Why? Because his 2 losses he got pointed. One at light heavyweight and one at super middleweight or junior middleweight. So it's all right with saying Bud can beat him on points. There's nothing wrong with that. But niggas think you throwing salt if you say he ain't gonna go in here and knock him out. I'm not a big fan of him coming in at 180 plus pounds or whatever. Like, that doesn't mean much to me. That's just simply saying, bro, you don't want to walk around that heavy. I don't need you being that heavy going into this fight. That's all that says to me. That's all that says to me, man. But motherfuckers are sitting. They'll tell you throwing salt. And that's not what I'm doing here. But as far as being up here in Omaha, man, I got to be really mindful about what I say on the on these social media platforms, because it's gonna come off as if I'm throwing salt, and I swear to God, I'm not. It's just me keeping shit in perspective. I can't allow me being a fan of a fighter to bypass my greater judgment. You know what I'm saying? I gotta call shit down the middle. And a lot of these niggas are not objective thinkers up here, man. I got niggas telling me that he about to go in here and do him like he did Spence. I'm like, y'all are out of your mind if y'all think that fight is gonna happen like that. It's just niggas is just stupid up here, man, and just fanboying and all that. No sense of objectivity. It's just we don't get celebrities of this magnitude and athletes of this magnitude who come out of this city. So when we do, we show, drag our support, which is dope. I think it's a beautiful thing that we support the champ like that. But me, I just got to stay objective. And, he's not, I didn't like that he was going, I don't like that he's walking around 180 and people was talking about that. That don't mean nothing to me. You dig? This fighter, if Bud wins, it's going to come down to skill set and IQ. You dig? And the deadlifting and everything. And then that shit ain't, no, bro. I'm not worried about none of that. So all in all, man, shout out to the champ. But I didn't like what I heard. I didn't like that. But I'm fucking with the champ. We supporting him up here in the city, man. North side, what up, man? I'll get with y'all later, yo. Deuces.